Alright, welcome back guys for another video. In this video, I'll be going over the three main stock I'll be watching next week. But before that, we need to go over the economy weekly calendar. And then after that, we can go over the game plan and talk about the specific name I'm watching. So quickly, let's go over the weekly calendar really quick. So as you guys know, today is Labor Day, so the market is closed today. All right, so on Monday, Labor Day. So altogether, we're going to have only 4 days of trading price action. And we have a short week. So if we have a short week as option traders, we need to be really careful as we trade because we lost about 1 day of theta value. What do we have on the Docker this week? So on Tuesday, nothing crazy. We have PMI. So definitely going to be watching that. But altogether this week, we have some heavy news that will be moving the market. So let's talk about that really quick. On Wednesday, so we have job opening data that will be coming out. We also have the Fed Batch Book and about 2 Fed speakers speaking on Wednesday as well. So make sure to actually know those time. And on Thursday, that's when stuff might start getting really volatile. So on Thursday and Friday, that's where we have the main data of the week. So on Thursday, we have ADP employment. This is definitely move the market, as well as the initial jobless claim as well. Definitely gonna move the market. And we also have ISM services as well at 10 a.m. EST and a couple, Fed speaker as well. And on Friday, it's gonna be the main day of the week, right? So we have US unemployment report and US unemployment rate. All right, so we can see how unemployment has been doing recently. If we look at the current level, let's look at it really quick. So the previous read, let's compare the previous read and the forecast for this data really quick. So already in the US unemployment report, so the previous read we have 73,000. And this rate is set to actually go up. So we're going to have a rise on unemployment. And regarding the unemployment rate, we have a forecast of 4.3. So it's also set to actually rise as well. So unemployment data is set to rise altogether. So this right here with employment going up, that can actually give a cue for the Fed to, cut rate. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm not going to spend too much time in here. I'm going to go to the price action and talk about the good stuff. So let's go over the chart. Let's go back on trading view really quick. The first name I'm going to go over is SPY. Let's take a look at SPY really quick. So let's go over the weekly time frame first and talk about how we trade last week. So if you look at the price action of SPY, well, altogether we pretty much been bullish while we're still in an uptrend. All right, clear price action. We have a big move from on the weekly time frame at that level and make this chart bigger. All right, we only have a slowdown right here for the past 3 weeks. We pretty much having the slowdown at this level. Are really hard to push, but altogether we're still bullish and we don't have any reason here to not be bullish. The only thing here, we can actually play the corner trend right here, which is risky, trying to catch the pullback on the bigger time frame. Your timing has to be really good to actually catch that. But let's actually look at it. So last week again, the price action pretty much green. We don't have a huge bullish price action. We have a green candle on the weekly time frame and that's it. Let's go to the daily time frame about how does it look like. The weekly price action on the daily time frame, we actually refer to 5 daily candles. So if you look at the 5 last daily candles, so those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 candles that actually cover the week. And if you look at it, we have 2 red and 3 green candles. So we pretty much started the week red, push up and actually gave some of the profit back. So we didn't go anywhere really. What we did, we actually hit a new level all-time high, show that bullishness on the price action and showing that the price want to go higher. As you can see, we keep making higher lows, and here we're making new highs compared to this high right here. And so far we see on the higher low level, and we can actually continue to go higher. So we'll see how this week price action we go. And again, we only have 4 days. We'll see how we start trading net from Tuesday to Friday, and we'll see how it goes. But let's talk about the key level I'm watching. So for that, I'm definitely gonna actually set up the 650 level. So quickly, I'm gonna go to the weekly time frame, and I'm gonna set a 650 level right here. That's near the new all-time high. So let's actually be accurate on that right here. Boom. And now I'm gonna go back to the 4-hour, and I'm also gonna actually set up the 646 level as well as a level that I want to watch, because that's a level I want to see the price action be above it to actually continue to go higher. Let's reduce the thickness of this level really quick. So right, and the bounce level that I want to actually have here is gonna be the 642. All right, 642. Let's make this green. So let's talk about this level really quick. So those levels are really valid for tomorrow. For people actually trading tomorrow, I'm definitely watching those levels. I definitely want to see the price action to actually reclaim the 646 to actually go back to the 650 near the all-time high level. All right, so that's what I want to see on a bullish scenario level. But if you cannot clear the 646, all right, there's a good chance you can actually go back to the 642, which I can expect the buyers to actually come back and show some buying pressure for a bounce. But if the buyers can hold the 642, then we can actually see a strong selling pressure to actually cover the length of this green candle right here, to go all the way down from that open of that candle right here, push down to the lower level of that candle right here. So that's something I'm definitely watching. So the 642 is definitely to actually add at the bounce level. I'm not gonna spend too much time on SPY here, but that's what I'm definitely watching. The 646 is pretty much my pivot level that I want to see the buyers to actually clear it. So far, that level, I think a good resistance. Come here, rejected. We actually came here and get rejected. Here, we actually break that level. This why I was supposed to actually have it as a support bounce. We actually failed it. So we might go and try to retest that level to go back. But if the buyers are strong enough, we can actually clear and go for the 650 and trying to go higher for the rest of the week. That's something I'm watching. But the 646 is pretty much a key level to actually see if the buyer cannot clear it, then there's a good chance you can trade lower until we have news. On Thursday and Friday, that's where the market will definitely move based on mainly news. So let's go over another name I'm watching. Will be Apple really quick. Let's go on Apple. If you go on the weekly time from Apple, you will see Apple pretty much traded pretty well last week, pretty much green. So the stock is up almost like 2%. But for the past 3 weeks after this big move that we have here, all right, we're pretty much not going anywhere. Pretty much having a strong consolidation. All right, this buyer won that weekly price action, seller won that weekly price action, and last week buyers won that weekly price action at this level. So it's like, okay, where do we go from here? So let's go to the daily time frame and see what we have here. So all we have is just going back to that same level that we have, right? So pretty much at the big move. So if you look at it, right, from this right here, that's where we had the big move to the upside, and here we had the pullback. And after that, now the buyers, held that 224 level and then pretty much push it to the upside, which is, clear good price action. And for the continuation, we definitely need to go and take that high right here to actually continue. And that's what we're going to have a nice formation of the uptrend, and we'll see how we actually trade. So that's something I'm definitely watching on Apple. So if the market shows some bullishness, Apple is one of the good candidates to actually watch the upside. And the level I'm watching is going to be the 235. Let's actually have that level here. So the 235 need to actually be broken by the buyers. So the 235, that's why we actually rejected. We can clear this, then we can actually move higher. And you can also have the 224 where we actually want. That's going to be the low right here. So if you cannot clear the 224, the 224 is going to be the most obvious level that we can go back to and expect buyers to actually hold that level, so we don't make a new low compared to this low. All right, so this right here, if you can clear the 235, then we're pretty much making a new higher high, and that shows more confirmation for the bullish price action on Apple. So that's definitely something I'm definitely watching. So but from where we are on now, all right, from 232 to 235, that's about 3 points. We can still catch it for a day trade really quick, but near 235, you don't want to really buy. You want to wait for the breakout or retest before actually entering. So the 235, definitely watching that. And if you cannot clear that, we can actually play the rejection back to the 228. And if it's strong, if the rejection is stronger, we can go all the way down to the 224. That's something I'm definitely watching, because if you reject the 235, now we can actually have a possible formation of a double top on the daily time frame. Which is daily time frame is a strong time frame to actually watch. So if we only have a first rejection right here, if we come here, we have a second rejection. Now we can actually have a double top pattern or a M pattern. All right, so this right here is pretty much a bearish pattern. So if you can see that, if we cannot break that level, then we can actually have that level right here coming back down here. And this was supposed to actually hold at the bounce. If you cannot clear it, then we can actually go lower. But so far, I'm pretty much bullish on Apple. And I still need to actually see the 235 to actually break above it for me to actually be even more bullish on Apple to actually continue to the upside, because I have a big target 245, which is, let me actually have that target here. 245 is going to be around here, if right here. I will target at this level, go to the weekly time frame, boom. That's the only way we can actually break that level. So that's a nice target to actually go there. When we actually clear this level, we can go straight to 245, and that's a good target to actually watch. Let's go to the next name really quick. So I'm going to go really quick on China. I don't usually talk about Baba on my watch list, but that's something worth watching. I actually missed that move last week, and Baba pretty much had a nice move to the upside, holding that buying level that I have here, and pretty much a big move. last week, up more than 10%. I mean, the name had earnings. So if you go to the daily time frame, you can see we have a nice gap. You can see how we actually have a strong buying pressure for my buying. This green rectangle here is my buying zone. All right, so far buyers pretty much be active at this level, and we actually had that level for a couple of days, and this why it was a good place to actually buy. I actually missed that move. I actually got into PDD instead, which was not the best name to actually take. I wanted to actually play that as a sympathy play with Baba. If Baba can push, PDD can actually follow behind Baba. That didn't happen, unfortunately. So Baba actually moved by itself, which is really beautiful. So this right here, strong push to the upside, and I think it can go higher. Right, so a lot of bullishness on it. But I'm definitely watching to see how it goes. I'm not gonna be really jumping the gun and just like buying at the top because it already moved a lot. So we can easily pull back, or it can easily pull back. But I'm not sure it's gonna happen right away. But I'm definitely a buyer around 128, 130 to 128 around that range. I'm definitely a buyer, which is around here. All right, around here. If it can get here, I'm definitely a buyer from that. That's gonna be a nice pullback, about like a 30 to 40% of retracement from this move right here. So definitely worth watching to actually buy for me. But if you can actually clear the 136, that level, this can go higher. This can go to 140 to 144. All right, that's the main target. I'm also watching to the upside if you don't happen to pull back because the momentum is really strong on Baba. That's something I'm definitely watching. So nothing crazy here. I'm not gonna go too deep in it. Let's talk about another name that I'm watching as well. Let's talk about AMD really quick. So AMD is pretty much having an interesting price action if you go to the weekly time frame. AMD was really strong a couple of weeks ago and now pretty much having a pullback. And when we see this type of pullback, this is really a good point to actually look for a buying opportunity if the bullishness of the name is still there. As you can see, AMD actually have a strong move to the upside. So we're pretty much trading to the downside for a long time. And remember, we are in a weekly time frame. So this right here is month of price action, month of buying pressure. Right here on the monthly time frame on August, this actually closed red, which is it's not really crazy because this level, the 180 level, was a nice resistance level that the market actually had, the AMD had a hard time to actually break. So nothing crazy. And now that we actually reached that level, if we go to the daily time frame, actually to the weekly time frame, we actually reached that level, we pretty much holding the 150 level. That's what we're holding right now. The 150 level is a good level that we're actually holding. So as long as we actually hold that level, we can actually bounce easy. So the 150 level, we see holding that level, we can actually pull back all the way down here. All right, this has room to go pull back all the way down here. All right, so this right here is a nice pullback level that I can see the price action come all the way down here. But if we hold that level, then we're good. But if you lose that, I'm going to have a good target at 140. That's going to be a good more pullback. And this right here is going to be a good buying spot for me on AMD for the long term. All right. But for short term day trading and stuff and overnight swing, if you can actually stay above the 150, then I'm going to be looking for a bounce opportunity to the upside, go back to the 180 again, trying to retest that level. That's on a weekly time frame, right? So that's it's still a big time frame to actually watch for. So if I go to the daily time frame, that's what it looks like. You can see already how many times we actually bounce. We actually bounce right here, boom, strong move to the downside, bounce right here, bounce so far, which is not a crazy bounce so far, show some weakness on AMD here, but if the market shows some bullishness, then we can actually go to the upside. So this right here at this level, we actually have like a bear flag formation we actually broke. So if the selling pressure is there, this might actually go lower. So if the market is showing weakness, AMD is going to be a good name to look for short. If the market show bullishness on the tech side, Apple is a big name I'm pretty much going to try to look for, actually go to the upside. But AMD also have a possibility to go up, to bounce easily if the market shows some bullishness. But in a shorter side, AMD is a good name to actually watch because again, you can see that AMD pretty much being weak. If you go to the 4 hour, you will see that we have a nice bear flag pattern and we pretty much broke out of that bear flag on Friday right here. Boom. So this is a bear flag right here. Let me show you guys for people familiar with right here. Boom. So we have the flag right here. Let me actually add this as well. We have the pole or that flag at this level, all right, which is a nice bear flag pattern with the bearish pattern, all right, bearish pattern. And bear flag is just what we see when we have a downtrend in a sense. So this is probably just start of the downtrend, and the downtrend looks like this. We move down, we pull back, and we move down. We pull back, we move down, pull back. It's just a continuation of bear flag. Right? So this is the first step, right? We pretty much move down, we pull back, right? And we're trying to break down to the upside. And if this actually hold right here, that's going to be a good spot to actually fail to actually have the downtrend. And if you fail to have the downtrend, that means we can actually restart the uptrend. Right, so that's gonna be a cancellation of the downtrend, and we can actually go to the upside. So that's something I'm watching. But if we lose that, then most likely we're gonna actually have a big move to right here where we can actually bounce, and that's why I'll be looking to actually buy for a buying opportunity when we get down here. After the break of this level, we can actually move aggressive down here, and then this right here can actually find a good buying opportunity to actually catch the bounce. All right, so when we actually lose the 150. Right, we have the opportunity to actually make money to the downside, and then later switch our sentiment from making money to the downside to trying to make money to the upside. That's something I'll be looking on AMD right here. So I'm not gonna make that video too long, so I'm gonna stop here. So those are the 3 names I haven't watched. Let me know which name you haven't watched in the comment, and let me know if you like this kind of video, so I will keep making more of those. Thanks for watching.